All right, welcome to Poppy Culture, episode 22. I'm Jay,
I'm Adrian.
and you may have noticed we look a little different this week. We're trying something different.
I feel close to you, buddy.
I know, this is kind of weird.
Isn't it? Shh. Just let this happen.
Don't-
Yeah. Right? We figured since we look at the camera and we look at each other probably more than we should, we were trying to angle ourselves, and we lost some table space,
We did.
guys.
Can we get just like a really big square table?
I have this rectangle we could. Oh, that's what we used to use.
Now, if we put that at an angle and I just had it going off this way for me.
Yeah, I have a side table in my office. We'll plop that next
There you
to
go.
me. Yeah, I
There
do.
you
I have those little TV
Yeah.
trays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see me use them for the laptops.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Before we get onto a tangent tangent is kind of where we live.
right, that's. Did you ever read any of the Tangent comics?
Oh, yeah. Before I pick up that beer, yeah,
I only read like one or two of them. They were,
weird.
yeah.
So those of you who may not recall Tangent, it was a DC.
It was an imprint.
What's that?
It was an imprint.
So the DC published, but as I mentioned, imprint of where they took their regular heroes and slightly changed them a little bit to give them a new, fresh spin. They were in their own universe, and it was interesting because they all did just one-offs, right? It was just
It's just
single
one
shots.
issue
Yeah,
yeah.
not the best thing I've read.
My first exposure to it was actually, I want to say, a Kyle Rayner issue.
Was it
Green Lantern? I know that.
Was it Iron Lantern? No, that's when they mixed. That was Amalgam.
That was
Iron
Amalgam.
Lantern. But I remember him because he did have the staff that actually had the
Yeah.
lantern hanging off it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
That was bad.
You know what's even worse is as I think about that in my head, I'm like, I know I have every one of those issues
Oh, yeah, you do.
in my long box
Yeah.
somewhere.
I've seen your comic room now. I know that you have things in there that should not exist.
So when Jay saw it, it looked like a bomb exploded in there. I was so ashamed because I have bagged and boarded, mind you, bagged and boarded. I counted 478 comics that need to go in boxes that are all in rows outside of the boxes that need to get boxed and put on the shelves. So just a couple,
Yeah.
a few
Yeah, no big
few issues I'm behind on.
No big deal.
Yeah, whatever. I'll give you a quick tour of my comic room. So if you walk into the comic room, directly to the right is a large bookcase that has my trade paperbacks, a couple statues, and the top 3 rows of the 6-row cabinet. The very top shelf is Legos, and then it has magazine-sized boxes that you may be familiar with for boxes, but they're special sized for comic books. So all my recent comic books are there, so they're easily accessible. And then they move over to the left side of the room where all the long and short boxes are on shelves. In the middle is a large chair and a little footstool for my feet to be up. And a couple different display cases. I have one that's just G.I. Joe stuff. I have one that's just Star Wars stuff. I have one that's actually novels that I don't read because they're not comic books.
There's not enough pictures.
Did you notice my custom cape that was in there?
No, I missed that. What?
So a friend of mine a couple years ago made me a cape, and it's hanging next to the G.I. Joe bookcase, where it is a green cape that has the connectors like Mon-El does. Because
Okay.
I love Mon-El, and he was a Green Lantern in the series, so it's the green cape with the buttons like he has here.
Okay.
And since he wears the Superman logo, she made a custom logo that was the Superman shield, but instead of the S was the Green Lantern logo.
Okay.
And she had that put onto the cape.
Nice,
So I've actually
nice.
never worn it. It's a display piece, but
Right.
it's pretty cool.
You can cosplay that sometime.
I probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all those conventions you go to, you know.
Yeah, because that's what I do at every one of those is cosplay.
Yep.
I think the closest I've come to cosplaying is wearing a baseball cap that might have the Star Wars logo on it. So
Nice.
yeah, slight cosplaying.
Yeah, no, it's close.
It is close. All right.
Anyways, what are we drinking this week?
We are drinking more Shock Top to finish off that collector set we bought. And this is the Chocolat Wheat. Yeah, so it's a Belgian-style wheat brewed with spice, aged cocoa, and vanilla beans with natural flavors. Oh, and artificial sweeteners.
I gotta tell you that the picture of the orange thing on here
Yeah?
totally just makes me want one of those like the chocolate oranges you get around the
Oh, yeah,
holiday
the
time.
balls that you smash?
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds... I won't lie, I totally got bummed at the word artificial sweeteners.
Yeah. Well,
All right, let's give it a shot, eh?
let's hope we don't get any of these birth defects that it says on the label.
That's only if you're... Oh my god, are you pregnant?
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. I got
Was,
really,
I would be a rich man.
I got really excited there for a while. Why? Arnold Schwarzenegger got pregnant.
And he's a rich man.
Did he get rich off of Junior? Because I don't think so.
I think it all ties together.
If he did, that is not a world I want to live in. If I found out he made more than like $7 million on Junior, I will quit living in this planet. Don't hold me to that, guys, because he probably made more than $7 million on that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that is sweet. Yep.
I would say out of the 3 beers that we tried in this pack, this is my least favorite.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, let's drink it anyways.
Okay, next week, better beer.
Mm.
Next.
Do you want to try it? We're going to try it.
Oh,
Here's a preview of next week's. Guinness has decided to make a blonde beer. Now, Guinness also makes Harp and Bass, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure
They
it's all
do.
the same company.
Yeah,
They make
yeah.
Smithwick's.
Smithwick's.
And they also make a... What is their cider called? They have a cider.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, news to me.
Anyways, seriously, you're going Guinness blonde? You have Harp. You have Bass.
Right. So-
Why?
So here's how this happened. I was at the store last night.
It was last night.
Last night. I was at the grocery store last night, and the fiance and I were. She was getting some yogurt, and in the store we go to the yogurt aisle and the beer aisle just happen to be the same aisle. Which, sure, why not? So I'm looking, and I see this.
Good protein in both.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
One's really good for breakfast. The other's yogurt.
That's right.
So I see this box there, and it's Guinness, and I'm like, wait a minute, why does this look so weird? And it's Guinness Golden American Style Lager.
Oh, so it's not a blonde. It was.
Or
For some
no,
reason, I thought it was a blonde.
no, sorry, it's a blonde lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it specifically said the word blonde, and it broke my heart.
Anyways, so I take a picture of it and I send it to Adrian. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, his response is, no. I would try that.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
I'm
mean,
like, well,
it's
yeah, no,
true.
I would too. So next week we'll have some of that on the show, and hopefully we'll make it through it.
Pretty sure I'm gonna die a little bit inside.
Yeah, probably.
Not as much as when I read Spider-Man and the X-Men #2, but I'm still gonna die inside.
All right.
I'm gonna show you the art on that one just for your initial reaction
Okay.
later on.
All right.
Before we get into the beloved comic books, let's talk TV.
Okay.
What are you watching?
So a funny thing happened this week. I talked a couple weeks ago on the show that I got cable early December. I pretty much I watch shows on demand. So
Sure.
like I'll watch Arrow and Flash and Gotham and all that on demand, but I don't flip through the channels a lot. Typically, the only thing I watch on there is Food Network and HGTV, the staples, you know.
Yeah, that's what everybody watches,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Anyway, so Jess was flipping through there, and she found a show on what's the channel Dr. Drew's on?
HGN, Oxygen,
HLN.
HLN.
HLN. Yeah.
What does it even stand for?
Home and Living Network.
Okay,
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
totally made that up. But it's a show called Forensic Files.
Yeah.
Which it's always interesting to watch those shows. Like, here's a crime, and here's how we figured it out. I used to love Unsolved Mysteries when I was
Oh,
little.
that was so good. Yeah.
So this reminds me a lot of Unsolved Mysteries, where they're like, here's the crime case, and we're going to walk you through everything that happened step by step. And then at the end, they're like, and they figured it out because of this little bit of forensic evidence. Here's the shitty thing about this show. And actually, this is the genius thing about this show. We would sit down and we would watch like 8 episodes in a row.
How long are the episodes?
Half an hour.
Okay.
So, like 4 hours. The first
That's
night
fine.
she watched it, she started at like 9. At 2:30 in the morning, she's like, oh shit, it's 2:30 in the morning. I need to go to bed. At the end of an episode of TV, what usually happens? How do they end the episode?
Credits.
Credits. And then after the credits, what happens before the next show comes on?
Commercials.
Right.
Oh, no.
This show
Oh, no.
rolls the credits as they're summing up how they solved the crime
Bitches.
right in the next episode. No commercial break.
That is genius, though.
So you're
Genius.
like 5 minutes into the next episode, and you're like, wait a minute, this is different. Who's that? God damn, I'm on another episode. And it happens every time. There is no break.
That is funny that you say that. Something very similar happened to me today.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, not today. Yesterday.
Okay.
But first, let me hear some more about Forensic Files.
So yeah, it's interesting. One of the episodes that was on 2 nights ago was about the New York Zodiac Killer, which apparently is not the one they made the movie about. The movie was about the San Francisco one, and there's a separate one in New York. I didn't know so many people cared about the Zodiac.
Well, that's because you're a Scorpio. You don't care about these things. Okay,
I'm a Virgo, thanks.
the fact that... what makes you think I would actually know?
I don't know.
carry on.
Anyways,
Tell me about your horoscope.
uh,
Yeah.
okay. So the whole episode was this guy. He was shooting people in New York that were each person was a different sign of the zodiac. So there was a Pisces and a Gemini and a Virgo and a Leo and whatever. And he was sending these letters to the police like, "You're never going to catch me because I'm not using a regular gun," which he wasn't. He was using something called a zip gun, which I had never heard of before. Apparently, it's a homemade firearm. You can make it out of different materials, but you can get it. You make it to shoot regular bullets, so like a 22 or something like that.
Okay.
But one of the ways that typical police are able to trace firearms is each gun leaves
The imprint on the
the
casing.
imprint. Zip guns don't always do that because they're not manufactured the same way. So
Okay.
this guy's like, "You're never gonna catch me because you can't trace my bullets." Da 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 da. After he's doing this for about 2 years, the police get called to this domestic, not something a firearm discharge in an apartment building.
Okay.
And they're telling a story about how this guy was at home and he lived with his sister, and his sister and her boyfriend were in her bedroom. The guy got upset about it, so he started going all crazy, and she came
Oh,
out
of
of the room and
course.
she's yelling at him, and he picks up a shotgun, shoots her in the ass. Police get called.
So far, it seems like a fair shot.
So they come and they confiscate all this guy's firearms, everything he has in the apartment. They notice he has a collection of zip guns. As he's filling out the paperwork for being arrested, they look at the handwriting. They're like, "This looks kind of familiar."
Oh shit.
It was a dead match for all the letters that this Zodiac guy had sent in. So they caught him based on handwriting tracing, which is crazy.
This is what bothers me about criminals. I know it's a weird way to start this discussion.
No.
Like every single time, it always seems, no matter how clever they are, they always kind of screw themselves by their own ego.
Yeah.
Like he had not written those stupid letters.
Right? If he hadn't taunted the police.
He would have been fine. Like he would have gotten away with this kind of stupid. Like don't be so dumb, criminal. Look I got like 9 different plots going on up in here. Drop me a quick line. I will help you out. Just don't brag about it. Just play. It's the same thing that happens with. Oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I've already started this rant, so I'm
Here we go.
following it through. It's the same thing about like the high school kids who sleep with their teachers.
Right.
The consensual ones, because I know they're not all consensual and sometimes it's not okay. But I was a senior in high school. I was 18 years old. I was a legal adult, so I could consent to whatever the fuck I wanted. See what I did there? Just
Yeah.
consent to whatever-
No, it's good.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, they only get in trouble because they fucking brag to their friends about it.
Right.
Like, what is wrong with you? Shut your fucking mouth and
Yeah.
take the crime as a win.
I mean, it's like those people that do that and then brag about it on a podcast 10 years later.
I didn't say I did do that.
No,
I'm just,
I didn't. If you were to have,
but I'm also not like, in high school, like telling my
Right.
buddy, hey, guess what I did yesterday? Don't tell anybody. Of course they're going to tell somebody. No one can keep a secret. Someone always tells someone.
yeah.
Because this is how every secret starts. Hey, dude,
Don't-
promise me not to tell anybody, okay?
Right.
You won't tell anybody?
No. It's,
Okay, cool. So this is what happened. And you're going to go to somebody else and be like, dude, look it. Don't tell anybody.
But I just heard this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? No. And then shoot yourselves in the foot.
So yeah, like I said, we'll watch a lot of that this week. The HLN plays it at like 4 or 5 hours at a time.
So you and I are going to San Francisco.
Yes.
And we got into this trouble before when we shared a hotel room
Right.
because of, what was it? The antique hunters? What are they called? Anyways, it was the History Channel.
It was
Did the same
History
thing.
Channel, yeah.
It's just one episode of
Pickers,
the same show.
American Pickers.
One episode after one episode after one episode. We're like, oh, we'll watch 8 episode.
Right.
It's only 9:30. Let's, we don't have to be up for a little bit. It's like 1:45. We're like, oh, fuck. We need to go to bed. We got to be up in like 4 hours.
So
look forward to a repeat of that.
yeah.
Because my buddy Matt, who will also be joining us, also loves those shows.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
Good.
we're set.
We don't need to go out. Let's just fucking grab a 6-pack at the convenience store and hang out.
I was going to say, I was at Target, and they have Superman onesies that have a
Oh,
cape.
No.
I almost want to rock one of those and just sit there with, like, just watching it in all its
Are
glory.
you gonna go out to a steakhouse like that?
Boo. Oh,
Uh,
no. Before we get on, no, I'm not even going to discuss
Okay.
that.
What have you been watching?
Before we get on to what I've been watching, I'm going to hit on the topic of what you said.
Okay.
Shows that just go into the next show without
Okay.
you realizing
Yeah.
it. I have created this monster myself accidentally. So I have a new home computer to be my media library.
Okay.
And before on the Xbox 360, it reads your network files and you get to watch what you want to watch. It's your own on demand.
Right.
The Xbox One, though, doesn't stop the episode when it's over. It just goes to the very next episode in that folder.
Oh.
So I downloaded a show through legitimate means, people, and put it into this folder. I'm like, oh, let's watch it. Next thing I know, I'm like, that's a long episode because it's only felt like it's been 45 minutes. No, it was like 6 episodes. It's been like an hour and a half, and it just steamed rolling. You know how we knew? Because it went back to the very first episode. We're like, wait, what? Oh my God. We've watched every single one of these.
So how was Burning Love?
It was Melissa and Joey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was really a painful experience.
It was not great, man.
So I have not seen any of the current season, so I don't know. You said it's not been great. I said with hair like that,
Oh my
of course
God.
not.
It's so
Joey has the hipster hair now.
it's worse than the hipster hair because he does not have a lot of hair on top left.
Right.
So, my hair is all funky because of the hat. It's shaved here all the way around, right? And then it's dyed bright blonde and then combed over.
Whoa.
With then the super douchey beard mustache thing.
Right.
Like, it's just all bad. The show in itself it's gone downhill really quickly.
Okay.
Like, I have not seen The Boy yet.
Ryder?
Outside of the holiday episode, Ryder has not been on the show. You have, God, her name's slipping me, the daughter.
That's the one I can never remember.
Anyways, the girl, the young girl, she's now 18, and so now she's kind of sleeping around on The Secret with Joey's nephew, who came to visit from Jersey,
No,
but now
I
he's
remember that.
and now
yeah.
he's staying there
Oh.
with them to just help them out. And then Joey's had as a daughter who he's known for a day, who's now living with them.
Yeah,
who he now
that was the season finale last season.
right. So cousin Oliver, essentially.
Right.
She's now
But not only is there cousin Oliver, there's also the other cousin Oliver from Jersey.
yeah. There's
Yeah. There's 2 cousin Olivers.
2 for the price of 1. So now, like, she's staying there, and he's already up and left to go on the honeymoon. So this random girl is now wanting to go on parties and dates, and it's just bad. It is. It has jumped the shark. That wedding was their shark jumping.
Oh, damn. All right.
One show I am watching that I am enjoying the hell out of is Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
Season 4 and 5 kind of lost me.
Yep.
It got too bloody, too gory. I felt like in their efforts, they were trying to go for shock value and not quality of story and intricacies like they had before. They've clearly gone back to that. And that's why I liked that show.
Yeah.
Not about the violence. Like, I think it's interesting and it's a needed portion of that show. But I also like the intricacies and the inner works of what's going on, the drama aspect of it. That 4 and 5 lost.
Right.
That season 6 is really ramped up. There's 2 episodes left. I'm really looking forward to what happens. Go ahead.
So what episode number did you... 10 or 11? I can't remember if there were 12 or 13 episodes.
I don't remember the numbers
Okay.
because just Netflix just
Right.
goes, man.
Yeah.
What just happened was the episode that just ended, Jack found out Tara set the whole thing up, and Clay just bit off the guy's nose in jail because he's working on the IRA deal, and Jax went to the DA to give up the Irish.
Okay.
That's the episode that just ended.
Okay, so that was episode 10.
So there's 2 left.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a big event that happens in 11, and that's why I was asking.
I know what it is.
Okay.
I won't say it out loud for those of you who haven't watched it yet. CPA, I'm talking to you. So I'm gonna keep it.
He's there.
Oh, really?
He is.
Ooh.
He has finished 6.
Dude, send me an email. I will talk to you about this on air.
He's finished 6. He's working on figuring out how he's gonna watch 7.
Yeah, because it's not on
It's
Hulu
not.
and it's not on
Hulu,
Netflix.
It's not on Netflix. So
If only there was a way that we could acquire these things without paying for the DVD or pay for the DVD. Target has on sale for $20. But if not, I'm sure there's a way.
Right. There's got to be some sort of way.
I'm sure there is. Jess and I have been watching a lot of Kitchen Nightmares again because it's a Ramsey show she hasn't watched, and I'm happy to rewatch a lot of this stuff.
Right.
A lot of the shows we liked are over, and it's really bumming me out. Like A to Z's over. It ended really well. I think they knew they were ending it, so they were able to wrap it up a lot nicer than Selfie
that's
was.
always good.
Selfie kind of left you hanging, but it was still a good enough ending spot. And that's about it. I'm one episode behind on The Flash.
Okay.
Again, I've been digging that a lot more than Arrow.
Okay.
A lot more than Arrow.
I am also behind on Flash. One thing that we did get caught up on, Heart of Dixie.
Okay.
It's back from its
midwinter break.
Yeah, I complained about this. So it actually came back from its midwinter break, and then went on another break.
What?
So they had season 4 premiered. Oh, okay, no, I guess this was the break. Yeah, so season 4 premiered like the second week of December,
and then
it was 3 weeks before we had another episode.
Yeah.
But now 2 more episodes have aired. The main character is always pregnant. With the town screw up Wade.
Okay.
Who she was dating for a while, and then they broke up. And
so
then,
Rachel Bilson's pregnant?
Yes. Which she was pregnant in real life.
Is she a hot pregnant chick?
She's not to the point where she's pregnant yet.
Because she just had Hayden Christensen's kid.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The filming of this happened during that.
Okay.
So it's one of those shows where they're able to tie it in, which is good. So yeah, he just found out. She wasn't going to tell him. He just found out, and now he was saying, I want to be a part of this or whatever. She's like, no, I'm doing it on my own. Now they're finally.
She's a woman, man. Hear her roar.
Right?
Dude, it's crazy because we were watching Bones, and Jess is like, she's pregnant. I'm like, man, she's just maybe put on a little. Like, I don't see it as instantly that girl is pregnant.
Right.
And Jess, of course, Googles it. She's like, yep, told you pregnant. I'm like, I don't.
There's a glow that we don't see.
Is that like a superpower that they have? Like, I'm always warm no matter what. Like, I'm assuming that's my mutant power. No matter how cold, I'm always warm.
Yeah.
Hers is just to no pregnancies, which I don't know how those powers are going to benefit us in the future. I'm going to find a way, though. You know what? Didn't the new issue of We're Not Like Them just come out?
It did.
Maybe we find a way to get hooked into that.
Yeah, which I have that. I haven't read it yet, but I have that.
The last show I want to talk about really fast is Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I love all the seasons but this season.
Okay.
This season jumps 5 years into the future.
Right.
And it's interesting because it is 5 years in the future. So it's like 2020. So they have like these crazy tablets that don't really exist. And they have all these things that aren't real because it's the future.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. I don't think the writers have changed. The actors haven't changed. But for some reason, it's just not the same. And it could be because they're no longer working in the same department. It could be, I don't know what it is. I'm just not loving it. Like, everyone has, actually, I think that is what it is. Everyone in the show has gone about their own lives.
Okay.
So Tom now runs his restaurant. And Donna now runs her real estate thing. And Leslie's with the federal government. Ron's running a private company. You know, April's doing this. So, like, they're just happen to coincidentally keep having all these things together, but they're not actually working together. But I feel like it is lost its comedy because of it.
Okay.
So,
I've never watched the show, so I don't know.
Season 1 was rough. Like, I won't lie. Season 1 was rough. And then 2 just picked up out of nowhere, and
Now,
I
this
loved
was a
it.
spin-off of The Office?
No.
Oh.
No,
I
it's
always
its
thought
own,
it was.
No, it's its own thing.
Okay.
Everyone thinks it's similar to The Office because the camera style is the same. It's that single camera shoot thing. And because Rashida Jones is in both shows.
Okay.
But it is by no means a spin-off.
For some reason, I'd always thought it was.
No.
All right.
Honestly, get through season 1, and it's season 1 you need because it lays a lot of groundwork. And season 2 is just fantastic. 3, 4, 5, and 6, all really good.
Okay.
I have faith that 7, the last episode, actually was better. So I have a faith that they're actually going to bring it all around. Like, this may just be groundwork that they had to lay to build the rest of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm cool. If that's what happens, 100% happy. Because I understand that needs to happen sometimes.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. I did not partake in any cinema-type viewing this week. It's movies, sorry.
Cinematic films.
Yes.
Neither did I. No moving pictures for me.
No.
I've been crazy busy, as you've seen. So, no movies for me. I do have one thing I'm going to discuss really fast. I got a message from one of our viewers.
Oh.
Goes by the name Frugal Brutal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And the argument was over where the wild things are. Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I have something to ask you after this.
No, go ahead.
No. It's another. No, go
Okay.
ahead.
First
Yeah.
off, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, here's my argument, okay? It is a children's book. I understand I broke it down in its most simplistic form possible.
I don't know. It seemed to make sense to me.
Because there are adult tones and implications and things to take away from it. But it's aimed at children. If you're making something that's complex and you need to sit and dwell on to find the greater meaning, guess what? It's not a freaking children's book. No 5-year-old is going to sit there and be like, now wait a minute. Max was a pain in the ass, was mean towards a dog, got sent to bed without dinner, had an imaginative dream, lost the wild things, came back home, and dinner was waiting for him. What is the deeper meaning in this? If I'm a kid, I see this kid was misbehaved, got in trouble, went and played with his imaginary friends, and then everything was okay in the end because mom brought him back his food anyways. So no harm, no foul. Like,
And we wonder what's wrong with kids these days.
right? I'm not saying that there can't be a deeper meaning. I'm not saying there can't be an alliteration found in it, but it's a children's book. How about you give a moral story for the kids to learn from, not something that they have to think too much on. And I'm not saying children are stupid, children are resourceful, and they're very bright, but at the same time, you may want to have some things on the surface level, not everything dug down underneath. So yeah. And in my grown-up response. So, what were you going to say?
All right, so I got into a discussion yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It was a little out of my element, so I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
It had to do with Star Wars.
I'm ready.
Okay, so the conversation started about how the Phantom Menace was terrible,
Parts of it, sure.
and I'm trying to figure out how to. Anyways, I was saying it was aimed towards kids,
It was aimed to a younger demographic,
Yes.
absolutely.
which pissed me off because I'm like, the Star Wars movies weren't for kids. The original trilogy wasn't for kids. So why, when you make the second trilogy, do you have to aim it towards kids?
Okay.
So that was how it started. And then the discussion went towards Jar Jar Binks.
Ugh,
And I said, Jar Jar Binks is fucking terrible.
that is
One
correct.
of the worst things that ever came out of the Star Wars franchise.
Agreed.
And the person I was talking with, he was saying that no, Jar Jar Binks, he had this very important story arc. He was there and the Gungans were there in the beginning, and something about him being the cause of Palpatine actually becoming the Emperor, and because he bumped him or something. I don't remember. I tuned out most of those movies. But the ultimate question lies, I said, Ewoks were far superior to the Gungans.
Oh, hands down. That's not even
Thank
a
you.
discussion.
Yes. He tried to say that the
Who?
CPA. So-
CPA? Come on, man.
So he tried to say that the scenes in Return of the Jedi on the moon of Endor or wherever it
Yeah, okay, I'm listening.
was the worst part of all Star Wars. And he said that the Gungans were much more integral and important characters and much more likable than the Ewoks.
No, what?
That is the same reaction I had.
What?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, Jar Jar Binks is the worst character ever created. Secondly, the reason I think those movies were aimed towards the younger demographic is they already had the older demographic. We were built in. You're going for a demographic that you may not have yet. And when those movies were released, kids were into Star Wars. Like, let's be honest, younger generations are into Star Wars. So why not aim that? You know they're going to get people our age to go out of our nostalgia. Why not aim
Hate it.
I don't hate it.
I hate it.
I understand. There's parts of it I severely dislike. But the Gungans better than the Ewoks? No.
And then he had a huge issue with the scene where you've got the two logs that come down and smash the...
Hilarious.
Right.
Do not get me in the physics of it, because physics don't
And
matter.
that's what he's saying. He's like, how could the Ewoks rig up those giant logs, and how could those giant logs, even though they're big, be strong enough to tear through the armor of the machine? And I'm
Okay,
like,
you don't
I'm
know.
like, give me the strength ratio of an Ewok. Do you know? Then you.
More than the strength ratio, that is a gravitational pull, right? We don't know what the gravity on that planet's like. That gravity could be fucking crazy,
But
right?
you say, how did they hoist them up there in the first place?
Those things could be crazy.
And my response was, how did we build the pyramids?
More than that. Can an ant carry something like 10
That's what I
times?
said.
Oh,
That's what I said.
no,
What if the
CPA.
Ewoks-
Come on, man.
What if the Ewoks are
no.
wicked strong?
All right, I take back what I said. Frugal brutal. To be fair, I love you no matter what. You and I are tight. And, I mean, like, really tight, as you know. So that was all in a jest. CPA. Come on, man. What? Don't. The Gungans?
All right, I'm glad that somebody who enjoys Star Wars more than myself agrees with me.
Man, like. I need to talk about something else, please.
All right, let's go to
talk
comics.
about
What do you got over there?
Okay, so I have Spider-Man and the X-Men, Spider-Man 2099, Inhuman, New Avengers, Nova, Uncanny X-Men, Amazing X-Men, The Flash, which I freaking love that cover,
That is a pretty sick cover.
Earth 2 World's End, D2 Future's End, Deathstroke, Rasputin, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, Alex and Ada, and the book I'll be talking about, Sinestro.
Have you always read Flash?
Yeah.
Okay. I just feel like I haven't seen you. Maybe it's just because you name so many books every week.
It is possible because I name so many
Yeah.
books every week.
Yeah.
Really fast before we move on to yours with I'm not going to go over Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Why would you? Sauron, what the deuce?
I want you to flip through the interior art.
Do I
So
have to? The cover
Yes,
side
I'm gonna
now?
slide over here because I want to see your full-on reaction to the interior art.
Why has this girl got eyes all over her face?
Yo, man, interior art. For those of you who can't see the detail, his face is scruffed up and it looks like he's smiling, but he's actually
It's a grimace.
disgusted.
It's a horrible grimace. It was funny because the first page I opened, there was an ad in there for I don't know where it went.
Spider-Gwen, I'm sure.
No, Star Wars.
Oh,
So that's the first art I saw, not realizing what it was. Oh, that's not too. Oh,
but look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that!
that guy looks like Christian
That's
Bale in The
Sauron, man.
Machinist.
Look at this! Look at
Yeah,
this!
this is bad.
Ah,
This is bad.
boo!
Who's the artist?
Falia.
Oh.
Marco Falia.
Well, okay. So for what I got, of course, I also got Alex and Ada, and I got Revival 27, Batman 38, Red Lantern 38, Sinestro 9, and then I also got Batman Eternal, Bitch Planet number 2, Evil Empire 10, Rasputin number 4, and They're Not Like Us number 2.
Really, the Gungans? Like I can't.
Right? I know. Like I can't even.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight.
I said one of the coolest scenes was when you got the Ewoks and Chewbacca together.
Look I love the first half of Return because I love Luke Skywalker, and I was fine with the efforts made by the Ewoks afterwards. All right, tell me about Bitch Planet.
All right, so you guys may remember I read Bitch Planet number 1 a couple weeks ago, just looking forward to tearing it apart, and then I ended up liking it. Well, guess what? This one sucked.
Yes.
This,
Tell me about how much you hate it.
So this one was actually really hard to follow because it starts out very Hunger Games-esque. So, you know, in Hunger Games, there's the control panel where there's all the people that are sitting there watching the games and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
with
sorry.
you.
Okay.
Sorry.
No.
I'm halfway with you. Halfway, I'm
I
just
know,
like.
I know. I was waiting. Okay. So apparently in this time in Earth, whenever this is supposed to take place, we still don't understand what's going on, but they have some game called Megaton, which is essentially a fight to the death. They don't go into all the details of it, but the first third of the book is the people in charge of society figuring out how to get more people to be engaged with the footage of Megaton.
Okay.
And they make a very distinct difference between viewership and engagement. So
Okay.
think of it like this. I could watch the Super Bowl. I could also be on Twitter tweeting about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So they
I get
want
what you're saying.
that Twitter, the engagement, people actually interacting, not just watching. Cut to the prison world, and now you see that one of the prisoners that we saw in the first issue, they're trying to recruit her to lead a prison team for Megaton. Because they're like, well, fuck, people are going to die anyways, let's throw some prisoners in there, and then nobody cares.
I'm on board so far.
Two birds with one stone. But the story, like I said, it's kind of the writing on it is kind of hard to follow. Let me pull it up. I'll show you one of these pages with like early X-Men style, full page word balloon. Ridiculous. But yeah, so there's a lot of words in it. The art is still not fantastic. So
when you say a lot of words, do you mean like it's wordy, or like it's to the point where there's just too much?
it's like lots of
That is too much, yeah.
yeah, it's lots and lots of long word balloons. A lot of conversation, not a lot actually happening. And like I said, that art is not great.
The art's not good. What bothers me about that, and it happens a lot to me, that bothers me is I'm fine with dialogue so long as it makes a good advancement and it uses adequate like space in the comic and what's going on in the background. Like as long as I'm stimulated both by reading and otherwise I wouldn't be reading a comic book, I'd be reading a novel.
Right.
That to me should have just been a novel.
Yeah. Another thing that happens in this issue that kind of bugs me is there was.
But see, now that's just a complete waste with no words in. Okay.
Right. So there's this very large woman who's a prisoner.
Okay.
And in the first issue, there was a scene where the guards were trying to get her into her prisoner uniform. She's like, that's too small.
All right, and they said one size fits all.
Yeah, and,
Right.
and it didn't fit. She ended up beating up a bunch of guards and then getting beaten down Rodney King style.
Yep.
Well, here they're running on this virtual treadmill, and the large lady can't run very far, so she, stops. And there's a scene where the guards try to hit her again and again. She
Beats them
up
up.
the guards, and then there's an entire group of guards. So that's the stupid ongoing joke in the background that I'm like, just stop.
Well, why did she go back to try to help her? See, she's jumping in on the dog pile now.
Because the women in the prison try to beat up the guards as much as possible, just like any prison.
Oh, sure. That happens all the time in prisons, I'm sure.
So, in the end of the story, another inmate convinces this main character to lead this team, saying that a bunch of the people in charge on Earth, the men, will be there watching in a spaceship. And this lady's like, I built the spaceship, so I know how to get in there and infiltrate it and attack all these people. So the main inmate's like, yeah, okay, cool.
Okay.
That's it. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it anymore.
Are you going to go into Bitch Planet 3?
I will give it one more issue.
Okay.
If it's still not great, I'm going to say bye.
That's fair.
Yeah. I fear this could have just been an off issue because they're trying to set something up. But my thing is, it didn't tell you any more about why these women are being shipped off to the moon to be in a prison.
Okay, that's because you're a man and you just don't understand.
No, I don't.
Okay?
But, maybe I could write a letter to their letters page entitled Bitches Be Like.
Oh.
That is the name of their goddamn letters page.
So here's what
Bitches Be Like.
So here's what I don't get, though. Isn't that self-deprecating to women by making their letters page be Bitches Be Like?
I would think so.
Or is it like that's our word and only we can use it?
I don't get the reference.
Let's talk about Sinestro. You think I'm stupid? I'm like, come on. We insulted an entire race and culture last week. I don't think we need to go for 2 in a row, buddy.
No, maybe that should be a new segment.
Who will we insult this time?
Right.
I'm out for the whitey then. Crackers are going down.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, see? It's not so fun when it's turned on you, is it? I'm a minority. Sinestro. So we're introduced right away into a new alien invading force that is coming around to other inhabitants, and what do they say specifically? They were drawn to the emotion. The pale vicars came to preach their gospel of nothingness. They harvested all life, stripped all the natural resources on the planet. Now it is dust.
Oh.
And just reading that alone, I'm all like, I kind of can get behind that, especially making Sinestro the anti-hero. So he by is no means a good person, as you know.
Oh, no.
And he's by no means a good character. But I continually like how they, on a scale of 1 to 10 of evil, he's a 5, maybe a 6.
Right.
So they keep putting him against 7 and 8s. So it's like, well, I'm evil, but I'm not that evil. So I'm gonna go resolve this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like the Hitler scale.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I'm a dictator. I'm Putin, but I'm not Hitler. So I'm here. You know what I mean? And I'm still cool with that. I'm fine. I got no.
What was the Italian guy?
Mussolini?
Yeah, I'm similar to Mussolini.
He-
I make the trains run on time.
yeah, he was that far away, you know what I mean? So then they, what happens, they get a distress call to a planet that's inoccupable with a bunch of Korrigans, but they're actually not there. It was a fake beacon to lure him. He figures it out, and of course it's Mongol, who wants revenge.
Right.
So they get into a very, very epic fight, and you learn that Mongol found a way to deplete his ring. In the process, the beatdown continues regardless. Beatdown continues. It's a pretty good fight because they have some history.
Right.
He ends up defeating him at the end, and then he gets defeated by a group of people called the Apex League. Okay.
Why does that sound familiar to me?
That's what I thought and was going to ask you, because that sounds super familiar and I can't place it. Right?
I almost feel like they were pre-52.
I'm sure that they were. If you guys remember the Apex League, send us a message at poppingculturepodcast@gmail.com. No, don't Google it.
Okay.
Come on, let them tell us. Fine. So the Apex League, I don't believe, is the group that was causing the destruction in the beginning. I have a feeling they're actually the ones trying to fight it and went to Sinestro for help. I don't know. I am looking forward to finding out, though.
Okay.
So that was Sinestro number 9. It takes place right after Godhead. They reference Godhead briefly because you remember he did give a yellow ring to one of the gods, and he's waiting for an answer from them.
Okay.
As you know, after Convergence, Sinestro is going to be one of the only 2 books around.
Yes.
Also, there are now some spoilers being released that it doesn't say it outright, but we know Convergence is going to have an effect on the mainstream universe.
Right.
So in Convergence, I believe Jay and I have talked about it, but just in case, we find out there are hundreds of different universes that exist inside the DC. So one of them is the one we're reading now, which is DCNU, or the New 52 as it's called. The one that was before this still exists. So all these different universes are going to kind of collide, and they're going to have it out. And when it's over, some things are going to be left in universes, some things are not. So one of the universes is the 0 Hour universe, where Parallax was the big baddie.
Yeah.
So the big thing they're also talking about is they kind of give a breakdown of what's ending as far as the books is concerned. And they interviewed the writer Vendetti for Green Lantern, and he hinted that Hal's no longer going to be concerned with a ring so much anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So what's he going to be concerned with? Are we going to get Parallax Hal?
Oh.
Or are we going to get something altogether different?
Okay.
Or is it just going to be a trick and Hal Jordan's still going to be Green Lantern? Who knows?
He's going to get all the power of Green Lantern without having to wear a ring.
I don't know.
I think we call that Ion.
No. Ion was all the power of every Green Lantern.
Right.
They did say that they are going to give a definitive end to the White Lantern.
Oh, good.
So the writer said when New Guardians is over, they will leave nothing left hanging. That will be completely resolved.
Good.
So I'm intrigued to see what happens there. I kind of would like to see Hal Jordan not be Green Lantern anymore.
Yeah, no, that'd be fine. As much as, I enjoy it, like, I've said this many times, Hal Jordan's my favorite, but if they spin it and they do something else, I'm alright with that too.
Did you read the Green Lantern Corps breakdown?
No, I have not read any of that yet.
I will break down the Green Lantern Corps aloud really fast before we wrap up. The series will end its run in March, with a tale both big and very, very personal, courtesy of Van Jensen, Bernard Chang, and Marcelo Mialo. But that doesn't mean the story of the Corps is over. In fact, the story will begin anew, in a fashion I know you won't see coming. The hint for these characters, location, location, location. So on top of that, in an interview, they had mentioned that John still has his other ring, and his past is going to play a big part in which one he may keep.
Okay.
So they're hinting and teasing at a lot of stuff, but who knows for sure. As always, as far as the Green Lantern universe is concerned, I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Well, that is all I have for this week. Anything else for you, man?
Nope, I'm good too.
Guys, have a great week. I'm not going to promise we're going to be back next week. I have a lot of weird travel dates, but I'm going to try really, really, really hard. Really hard. All right, have a great week. Jay, I love you. Bye.